Welcome children to our chemistry class. Today we will do about physical and chemical changes. When we look at our surroundings, we can observe various types of changes around us. Some of the changes are slow while some are very fast. For example, growing of a seedling into the plant. What happens here? Seed will turn into the plant. It will take too much time. In the same way, when curd converted into the milk, that also take at least 12 hours. Or formation of fossil fuel from the dead plant. So that to take millions of years. So these changes which occur slowly over a period of time and may take hours, months or years to occur. So they are slow changes. But some of the changes like bursting of a a cracker bursts within seconds or sometimes it will take 1 or 2 minutes. Lightning in the sky, that also you blink your eyes, within a fraction of seconds you can see the lightning in the sky. Then blinking of eyes. These changes occurs very fast in a short period of time, at time maybe in a fraction of seconds. So these changes which takes place very fast, they are fast changes. Again the changes may be reversible or irreversible. For example, melting of ice into water. Ice converted into the water when you heat it and again turned back into the ice when you cool the water. In the same way, making and remaking shapes of Play-Doh or inflating or deflating a balloon. Because these changes, as soon as the cause is removed, what will happen? They reverse back to their original form. So they are what? They are reversible changes. And some of the changes are irreversible. Like suppose when I will burn a paper, it will turn into the ash and you can't get back the paper. In the same way, when I will cook the food, after cooking, I can't convert it into the same form or rusting of iron. These are what? These are irreversible changes which cannot be changed back to their original form. So some of the changes are reversible or irreversible changes. Then next, some of the changes are periodic or non-periodic changes. Changes like phases of moon, change of season, sunrise or sunset. What will happen? They recur themselves after a certain interval or a fixed interval of time. So these changes which takes place again and again after a fixed interval of time, they are periodic changes. But some of the changes which do not take place after a fixed interval of time, they take some time to reoccur and they won't reoccur after a fixed interval of time, like volcanic eruption, tornadoes, all the natural calamities. What happens? They don't have a fixed interval of time or fixed pattern. So these type of changes are non-periodic changes. Then some of the changes are natural and some are man-made changes. For example, lightning, earthquake, ripening of foods. They, these changes are natural changes because they occur naturally. And some of the changes like making of a bridge or cooking of food, because we want to cook the food, we want to cook the food, making of jewelry, we want to make the jewelry, make some kind of designing within the jewelry. So these changes occur due to the activities performed by the human beings. So these are man-made changes. Again, some changes are exothermic and some are endothermic in nature. Change which occur with the release of heat, they are exothermic changes, like because when I will burn the magnesium ribbon or whenever I will burn the crackers, what will happen? Large amount of heat is generated or large amount of heat is released. So that is exothermic change. But when I will cook the food or I want to decompose sodium bicarbonate by heating, it means I have to supply the heat or photosynthesis that also require the heat energy by to make the food by the plants. So these changes which require heat, they are endothermic changes. So there are various kind of changes. Again, some changes are physical and some are chemical in nature. Physical change where what will happen, suppose the melting of the ice or breaking of the glass, where what will happen after the change, no new substance is formed and even the composition of the substance will not change. Then these type of changes are known as the physical changes. And some of the changes where what will happen, suppose I will burn the paper or iron is rusted, then what will happen in these cases, after burning the paper new substance is formed, the paper is converted into the ash form and I can't get back from that the paper again. In the same way, after the rusting of the iron, when the iron rusted, after that I can't get back the iron in the same form or same composition. So these type of changes where the new substance is formed and composition of the substance totally change, then that type of change is the chemical change. So today we will discussed about the various type of changes, and among this we will discuss about the physical and chemical change, because today our topic is physical and chemical change. First is the physical change. Physical change. What is a physical change? A change in which only some of the physical properties like state, color, size, or shape of the substance undergo change without any change in chemical composition of its molecule is called physical change. For example, melting of ice. Melting of ice is a physical change, because here what will happen, some of the physical properties of the substance changes. Here actually the ice changes from ice to water on heating. So here just the state is changed. State of the water has been changed from solid to liquid state, but the composition is same. Chemical composition means the molecular composition. Ice is H2O as well as water is H2O. Whatever the properties of ice is there, the same property is exhibited by the water molecule. That is why what will happen here, no new substance is formed. On and chemical composition, because the chemical composition of the substance is same after the change. So this change is what? This change is the physical change. Characteristics of the physical changes. Characteristic of physical change is that no new substance are formed. Generally, it is temporary and cannot be reversed. Only physical properties of a substance changes like state, color, size or shape. There is no change in weight. Only a little heat is absorbed or given off. Sixth, cannot be represented by using any formula or an equation. Now I am explaining all these characteristics to you with the help of one example, one or two suitable examples. Suppose just now I said to you about the melting of ice. Either the melting of ice or solidification of water, any change of state, anywhere where change of state is taking place, whether it is melting, freezing, boiling, sublimation, all are related to the physical change. For example, melting of ice. In case of melting of ice, what will happen? Ice, when it is heated, then what will happen? It will convert it from ice to water. Okay. So tell me, when ice converted to the water, do you think any new substance is formed? No. Ice is H2O as well as water is also H2O. It means ice consisted of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen chemically combined and then gives ice, and water is also formed by two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen, where hydrogen and oxygen chemically combine in the ratio in a fixed proportion and then give the water molecule. So here no new substance is formed and chemical composition of the substance is not changed on melting the ice. Second, related to this melting of the ice, this is a temporary change and reversible one. Why? Because when I will heat, ice will change. Ice will be converted into the water. And again when I will cool, when the temperature will become 0 degree, then again what will happen, it will be converted into the ice. So it is reversible as well as temporary. As the cause is removed, cause is what, just I will heat it, again I will reverse it, I will cool down, then what will happen, water will be converted into the ice. So this is a temporary and a reversible change. Third, only physical properties of a substance change like state, color, size or shape. So here what will happen when ice melt, at that time its state changes. Its state change from solid state to liquid. So that is the change of state. And little bit what will happen, if I will take big ice cubes, then after some time it will become smaller and smaller and then completely it is converted into the water. So the and shape also changes, because the big cubes were there, then they will become small and maybe the shape will change. So mainly, but this change of ice into the water, that is the change of the state. So here what will happen, what do you observe, that when ice converted into the water, just the physical property, that is the shape, that is the state of the substance changes. Fourth is that there is no change in weight. Suppose I will take 100 gram of ice and when I will heat it, tell me whether it will be converted into 200 gram of water. No. 100 gram of ice, after heating, when it will melt, after that I will give only, it will give to me only 100 gram of water. Means 100 gram of ice will give me 100 gram of water. So there is no change in weight. Fifth is that only a little heat is absorbed or given off. So when ice is converted into the water, at that time what will happen? I have to give little bit, I have to supply little bit of heat energy, which is actually utilized for the change of state, not for the, even not for the change of composition of ice. Because composition will be same, H2O, no rearrangement of atoms takes place here. So what will happen? Little bit of heat energy is absorbed here, and that is for the sake of change of state, not for the change of composition. And sixth is that this physical change, I cannot represent it by any equation or by any formula. Can I write ice, when I write ice converted to the water, can I write any equation for this? No, I can't write any equation for this. Just in a word equation or in a word I have to write ice, I have to give the arrow and then it is converted to the water. That is all. So these points prove that, or these points are relevant, and which proves that the ice converted to water is a physical change. Again, I am giving you one more example. Here though, here the change is due to change of state. Okay. I am giving you one more example um, where what will happen, change of the color of the substance will take place. The second example is related to heating of zinc oxide salt. Okay. When you will see the zinc oxide salt is zinc oxide is an oxide, it is not a salt. Zinc oxide substance, it is white in color. But when I will heat it in a test tube, then what will happen? It will convert it to yellow color. Again I will cool down, again it is converted to white in color. So a white zinc oxide converted to yellow color zinc oxide when it is heated. So here first thing is that when it is in the cold state, it is zinc oxide, only the color is white. When it is heated, again it is zinc oxide, the color is yellow. It means here only the change in color takes place, but the composition of the substance is same. Composition is same, that is ZnO, initially zinc oxide, and after heating, again it is ZnO, that is zinc oxide. So here composition of the substance is same, no new substance is formed. So this is a physical change. Second, it is a temporary change, because when I am heating, then what will happen, due to the heat it is yellow in color, and again when I will cool down, then again it is white in color, but the composition is same, that is ZnO, ZnO. Before heating, after heating, in both the condition it is ZnO. So this is reversible. Third thing is that only here the physical property. Which physical property? That is the color of the substance is changing. The color of the substance changes from white to yellow on heating. So only the physical property of the substance changed. Third thing is that here you will observe that there is no change in weight of the substance. The zinc oxide on heating, it's not like that. Its weight will reduce or will increase. It will remain same. Fifth point is that only a little heat is absorbed or given off. For the change of the color, it will take a little bit of heat. Very small amount of heat you will supply, then the color will change. And third thing, this reaction, whatever this change is taking place, the physical change, that is heating of zinc oxide salt, you cannot represent it by the formula. It is ZnO, and after that also it is ZnO. Okay, it is zinc oxide, so I cannot represent this physical change by formula or by equation. I think now this is clear to you that what type of changes are considered as the physical changes and why. More examples are there. You can relate these examples with the characteristics I have given to you, like melting of ice, freezing of water, formation of clouds, sublimation of camphor, boiling of water, formation of solution. Here all these 6 points, all these 5 points are related to change of state. Formation of solution, here what will happen? The solute will dissolve into the solvent and dissolution takes place. Again by evaporation, you will get back the salt, or by crystallization, you get back the salt. Third, heating of zinc oxide or lead monoxide salt, that is related to change of color. The physical property change will be your, that is the color of the substance will change. Zinc oxide, where it is white when it is in the cold state, and when it is heated, it will be converted into yellow color. And in the same way, there will be the change in color of lead monoxide. Chewing of food. Is also a physical change. Breaking of glass, physical change. Why? Because here composition of the food will not change. Neither the composition of the glass will change. Only what will happen? Here the size of the particles will change. Since the size changes, so it is related to the physical change. And making of toys from the clay, what will happen here? The shape will change. So that is also physical change. So here I have given you so many examples. Till 5, it is related to change of state. 6, what will happen? Here what will happen? It will change, state will change, and again what will happen? You will get back the salt. 7th, it is related to change of color, and 8 and 9, it is related to the change of shape. But the composition of the substance will not change in these all these changes. Now next we will discuss in detail about the chemical change. Chemical change, what type of change? In case of chemical change, where what will happen? No, new substance will be formed, and the chemical composition of the substance will totally change. Whenever a change, where what will happen? The new substance is formed with the change in chemical composition of the substance, then what will happen? That change is a chemical change. Now characteristics of the chemical change. In case of chemical change, what will happen? New substances are formed with a completely new molecular composition. And second is that it is a permanent change and cannot be reversed. Third is that both physical and chemical properties of a substance changes, like state, color, size or shape. Fourth is that there may or may not be change in weight. Fifth, in case of chemical change, large amount of energy is related. And 6 is that a chemical change can be represented by a chemical equation. Now all these examples we can explain with the, sorry, all these characteristics we can explain with a relevant example. Like suppose you are digestion of food or cooking of food or rusting of iron, all these changes, what will happen? Rusting of iron. I'm taking the example rusting of iron. In rusting of iron, initially it is Fe, iron. And you know that in presence of moisture and oxygen or air, iron, on the surface of the iron, a brownish coating is formed, and that coating is due to the formation of the rust. And the formula for the rust is Fe2O3.XH2O. It means initially it was Fe, that is iron, and it is converted into the hydrated ferric oxide. Hydrated ferric oxide, Fe2O3.XH2O. That means the composition of the substance has been changed. Second, or if I will think about the digestion of food, here also food what we are taking, that is in the form of carbohydrate, fat or protein, and then what will happen after digestion, it is converted into the simple substance, like carbohydrate converted into the glucose, fat converted into the small molecule simple substances of fatty acid and glycerol, and protein converted into the amino acid at the end. So it means what will happen, the composition of the substance totally changes. If you think about respiration, then also same thing. Oxidation of foods takes place, and that is converted into the carbon dioxide and water vapor. So what happens here, the composition of the substance changes with the formation of new substance. Second, it is permanent and cannot be reversed. Rusting of iron. Once the iron is rusted, now it is in the form of ferric, hydrated ferric oxide. You cannot get back the iron from that. No, not possible. Now, digestion of food. Food digested, can you get back the same food after digestion? No. Respiration, germination of seed, you cannot get back the original one. So that is what it is, permanent and irreversible. Here what will happen? Physical as well as chemical properties of the substance changes completely. There may, here always there will be the change in weight. The weight of the substance will change totally, because rusting of iron, after rusting you will observe that the weight of the iron increases. Burning of paper, that is also a chemical change. After burning, the paper converted into the ash, carbon dioxide and water vapor is lost. And then what will happen? Here the weight of the substance is reduced, because something is lost in the atmosphere. If I will not, anything will not be lost in the atmosphere, then what will happen? The total mass of the reactant and the total mass of the product will be same. But here, what will happen? Something is added or something is released. I'm not considering that one. That is why what will happen? The weight of the substance will change. Here, large amount of heat energy either absorbed or given out. Rusting of iron, at that time, what will happen? Energy is absorbed. Then respiration also, change of lots of energy is released, which is utilized to carry out various activities in our body. And last is that whatever the chemical change, that can be represented by the, with the help of chemical equation. Like even I can represent the rusting of iron, the process of digestion, respiration, all I can represent with the help of chemical equation. So these are what the examples of chemical changes, and how I can relate them with the characteristics of chemical change. Few more examples are there here: cooking of food, digestion, food, formation of curd from milk, curdling of milk, germination of seed, rusting of iron, ripening of fruit, blackening of silverware, respiration, rotting of eggs, sorry, rotting of eggs, all are examples of chemical change. Blackening of silver, I think it's clear to you. The silver jewelry, when you will keep it in air, or those who are wearing it for a long time, after some time you will observe that the brightness decreases and it will be converted into a black layer is formed on the surface of the silver articles or silver jewelry. Why? Because silver react with the sulfur of the atmosphere and convert it into the silver sulfide. So that black layer is due to the formation of silver sulfide. So silver react with the sulfur of the atmosphere and a layer of silver sulfide is deposited on the surface of silver article. And when it is, I can remove it by brush it, or with a dry cloth, I will rub it nicely, then that black layer can be removed. But actually you are removing the silver sulfide layer. Below that again the silver is there. So that is about the blackening of silverware. So this is all about the examples related to the chemical changes. Next one is chemical reaction. So I think physical change and chemical change. What are physical changes? Related to that change, I have given you few examples. Then chemical change, related to that also I have given you few examples. It's clear to, I think from it's okay, it's clear to you. Now next we will discuss about the chemical reactions. So chemical change is actually wherever a chemical change is taking place, then collectively we call it chemical reaction. So suppose uh, rusting of iron, that is a chemical change. So we say here that some kind of chemical reaction is taking place within the iron in presence of moisture and air. Suppose next is that mm, your milk converted into the curd. It means due to some chemical reaction, milk is converted into the curd. We call in this way. So what is a chemical reaction? When one or more substance that can be an element or a compound, when it undergo a chemical change, either with the absorption or release of energy. We know that chemical reaction is not possible without energy. It is possible either with the absorption or release of energy, so as to form one or more new product. So then the change taking place collectively called a chemical reaction. Now we will discuss that what are the characteristics of chemical reactions. Not of chemical change, characteristics of chemical reactions. Whenever a reaction taking place, then how will you say that okay, some reaction is taking place? You have observed that uh, you know when you will add to the water, then some bubbles are coming out. Then what will come to your mind? Okay, it means some reaction is taking place. Sometimes when acid, any acid at your home, maybe sulfuric, nitric acid, we generally the people use in the wash to clean the washroom or tiles, harpic. At that time also you will notice that some kind of bubble or gas coming out, and that is giving you a very bad smell. So all these are what? These are the some reactions taking place. You will say that, oh, some kind of reaction is taking place. Yes or no? Okay. So whenever, how will you identify that some chemical reaction is taking place? If you will see that whenever the substance react, at that sometimes what will happen, maybe the gas is released. Sometimes you will observe that the color of the substance changes completely. Initially the color of the substance was something, and when reaction occur, after that the color, now the color is different. Even you take a knife, iron knife, when you will heat it, you will see that it becomes red hot, and when you will cool, after that you will not get the original color. Actually there also some kind of reaction is taking place. Iron is converted to iron oxide on prolonged heating. So, and sometimes what will happen, the two reactants are there, they react with each other and give you a colored precipitate or maybe a white precipitate which is insoluble, and you will say, oh, some kind of reaction is taking place. It means, then sometimes you will observe that large amount of energy is released, like when bursting of crackers takes place, when you will burn the crackers, at that time also large amount of heat energy is generated. It means some kind of reaction is taking place. And sometimes even what will happen, the state of the substance changes and composition also change along with that, then it means some kind of reaction is taking place. So the chemical reactions, we can say that these are the characteristics of the chemical reaction. What are those? Sometime what will happen within a chemical reaction, the gas will be evolved, so evolution of gas. Sometimes the color will change, so that is the change of color. Sometimes what will happen, a precipitate will be formed, that may be colored or white, no matter, but precipitate is formed. So we will, formation of precipitate, sometimes energy is released or energy is absorbed, so that is energy change. And sometimes what will happen, the state of the substance will change. Now related to this, I'm giving you a few examples so that I can clarify you the points. First is that evolution of gas. Maybe you have studied or not studied, I don't know, but you will study the hydrogen chapter. There you will study that when acid, dilute acid, either hydrochloric or sulfuric acid, is added to zinc metal, then what will happen? Effervescence takes place. Effervescence means what will happen? You will observe a gas is released. It means, so hydrogen gas is released. So here what will happen? Here this is an example of a reaction where a gas is released. A most common example which you know, that ENO, when added to the water, at that time also what will happen, the bubbles of the gas coming out. Actually there what happens, ENO means that is sodium bicarbonate and acid is there, that is really tartaric acid. So acid react with that sodium bicarbonate, produces a gas, and that gas is carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide gas is released. So here what happens, the reactions are there, some of the reactions are there which are characterized by the release of gas, some gaseous product. Another example is that when sodium nitrate salt is heated, you will notice that this sodium nitrate salt, first it will melt, that is a physical change, and after further heating, what will happen? It will produce sodium nitrite and oxygen. So chemical change, here the change is taking place with the release of energy. So this is the correct, this shows that it means some kind of reaction is taking place. Next example is that if any sulfide salt, whether it is copper sulfide, iron sulfide, I will add acid, then it will release a gas, that is hydrogen sulfide gas. How will you identify hydrogen sulfide gas, students? I think you know probably. Yeah, it is has a smell of rotten egg. So hydrogen sulfide has the smell of rotten egg. How can you identify hydrogen gas within the reaction that hydrogen gas is released? Yes, it will burn with the pale blue flame and pop sound. Hydrogen gas identified. We can identify easily because it will burn with the pale blue flame and pop sound. Hydrogen sulfide we can identify with its smell of rotten egg. Carbon dioxide, how will you identify? Yes, carbon dioxide turns lime water milky. Carbon dioxide gas turns lime water milky. Okay. So chemical reaction, the characteristic of a chemical reaction, one characteristic is that sometimes during a chemical reaction, gas is evolved. It is not necessary that during whatever the chemical reaction is taking place, always the gas will be evolved. No, sometimes the gas will be evolved. Sometimes you will observe that the color of the substance will change. So second point is related to change of color. Red lead, red lead oxide. Red lead oxide is actually red in color. Its formula is Pb3O4. Red lead oxide Pb3O4. Okay, that is red in color. But when it is heated, you will observe that the color converted from red to yellow. So obviously some chemical change is there because here the yellow color is due to the formation of lead monoxide. Red lead, which is Pb3O4, when it is heated, it is converted into lead monoxide, which is yellow in color, with the release of a gas, that is oxygen. So a gas is released, along with that here the color of the substance changes from red to yellow. Next one example, which is not written here but I am telling you, copper carbonate. Copper carbonate salt is green in color, but when it is heated, you will observe that the green color mass slowly converted into the black color mass. Copper carbonate is green in color, and then when it is heated, this copper carbonate converted into copper oxide and carbon dioxide. Due to formation of this copper oxide, the color converted from green changes from green to black. Because copper carbonate is green in color, which we have taken initially, and when it is heated, it is converted into copper oxide, which is black in color. Next, in some of the reactions, you will observe that the precipitate is formed, maybe colored or white precipitate is formed. What you will see that you have taken two solutions which are clear and transparent solutions are there within the two test tubes, and when you will mix them together, you will observe that now they are no more transparent and clear. Instead of that, either you are getting a white color precipitate or you are getting some other color, green or reddish brown precipitate. In some of the reaction, what will happen, the two solutions combined together react with each other, and give you another product that is insoluble in water, and due to that what will happen, it will give you a colored precipitate. One example I am giving you, that is silver nitrate solution when react with sodium chloride solution. You know sodium chloride solution means common salt solution. When you will mix common salt with the water, it is totally transparent, looking like water. Okay. And silver nitrate solution also same, transparent, clear solution. But when you will mix them together, in a single test tube, or you pour silver nitrate solution into the sodium chloride solution, or sodium chloride solution into the silver nitrate solution. Mix them together. Then what you will observe? You will observe that now the solution is not transparent and clear. Instead of that, you are getting a white colored PPT. White PPT. So two solutions which were clear and transparent, looking like water, appearance just like water is water. After reaction, you are getting white color precipitate. It means some chemical reaction, obviously some reaction has been occurred in that. So another example again I am giving you, uh, when ferrous sulfate solution, that is ferrous sulfate is water soluble salt, it will dissolve in water and give you a transparent but not colorless, it is green solution, sea green color solution. And to it, when sodium hydroxide or ammonium hydroxide solution is added, that is colorless, both are colorless solution. When added, what you will observe? You will observe a dirty green colored precipitate. And initially, one solution was there that was green in color, another was there that was colorless solution, but both were solution, no precipitate was there. And when you will mix them together, you will obtain a dirty green precipitate. It means some reaction is there, and you are getting the colored precipitate. And these type of reactions are also known as precipitation reaction, because you are obtaining from the clear solution to clear solution, you will obtain a precipitate. So it is, these reactions are also we call it precipitation reactions. Fourth is that during chemical reaction, energy is either released or energy is absorbed. It means some kind of energy change occur. So like I think during whitewashing, what happens? The lime is added to the water. At that time, large amount of heat is released, and the temperature of that mixture increases tremendously. You can't touch it at that time. If you will touch, your hands will burn. Initially, you can touch with lime, no problem. You can touch water, but when you will mix them together, you can't touch. Why? Because large amount of heat is released, so temperature of that mixture increases. So here what happens? The heat is released, and this type of reaction is exothermic reaction. Same thing happen when I will add caustic soda to water. Caustic soda when added to the water, at that time also what will happen? The temperature of that mixture increases, and you can't touch it at that time. Burning of magnesium ribbon. When magnesium ribbon is burned, at that time also energy is released. So these are all examples of exothermic reactions. Burning of magnesium ribbon, I think you have seen during Diwali when we burn the long wire type. Actually, that is what? That is of magnesium ribbon. Endothermic reaction where what will happen? Heat is not released. To carry out the reaction, we have to supply the heat energy. This heat energy is absorbed. So during such change or such reaction, heat is absorbed from the environment. It means we have to supply the heat to carry out the reaction. Like for example, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis takes place in presence of light and heat energy. supplied by the sun. Cooking of food also, that is endothermic reaction. One example, sodium bicarbonate salt. When it is heated, means you have to supply the heat with the Bunsen burner flame or spirit lamp flame. Take the sodium carbonate salt within the test tube, heat it, then what will happen? It will swell up first and then give you sodium carbonate, water vapor little bit, and a colorless carbon dioxide gas. I said to you, you can identify carbon dioxide gas by passing it through lime water. Lime water turns milky. So endothermic, that is the endothermic reaction or endothermic change takes place at that time. So during exothermic, what happens? Energy is released. Energy is released, that is why the temperature of the surrounding increases. But in case of endothermic, what happens? Energy is absorbed. So when energy is absorbed, temperature of the surrounding decreases in this case. Endothermic reaction is not possible without the supply of heat. And in exothermic reaction, what will happen? Here heat is released. Next is that some of the reaction we can identify with the help of by observing the change of state. So some of the chemical reaction, what happens? The change of state is taking place. A very good example, you are familiar with that. We know that hydrogen and oxygen react with each other, gives water. Hydrogen in the gaseous state, oxygen also in the gaseous state. When hydrogen is burned in presence of oxygen, then what will happen? It gives water, and that is in the liquid state. So here two gases combine together to give you a product which is in the liquid state. So sometimes what will happen? Whenever a chemical reaction takes place, at that time the state of the substance changes. And one more example I am giving you, ammonia. That is a gaseous substance. Okay, when ammonia react with the chlorine, another gas, then it gives you ammonium chloride, dense white fumes of ammonium chloride, and ammonium chloride is in the solid state. So this is example where two gaseous substance combine together to give you a solid product. Two gaseous substance means one ammonia, another is your chlorine gas. Ammonia gas combined with the chlorine gas give you a solid product, that is ammonium chloride. One more example where what will happen, a solid substance combined with the vapor state of another substance and give a liquid substance. Like example is that carbon in the solid state react with sulfur vapor which is in the gaseous state and then give carbon disulfide, and carbon disulfide at room temperature it is in the liquid state, CS2, carbon disulfide. So here I have given you some characteristics of the reactions, chemical reactions. By these characteristics we can say that, oh, some kind of reaction is taking place. First, that I said to you, sometimes whenever a chemical reaction is there, at that time gas is evolved, means evolution of gas takes place. Second, I said to you, sometimes what will happen? The color of the substance will change. Color of the substance will change. Like, for example, the color of the substance change in case of red lead. When it is heated, then it will give you yellow color lead monoxide. Third, I said to you that sometimes a precipitate is formed, like when silver nitrate solution mixed with the common salt solution, then it will give you white precipitate of silver chloride. Fourth, sometimes the energy change will occur. In some of the reaction, energy is released, like when quicklime is added to the water. And sometimes energy is absorbed, like photosynthesis or decomposition of sodium bicarbonate takes place with the absorption of heat energy. And some of the chemical reactions we can identify with the help of change of state. This change of state will occur. Maybe two solid substance changes into liquid, or two gaseous substance changes into the liquid, or two gaseous substance maybe changes into the solid. For example, hydrogen and oxygen, both are gaseous substance. When hydrogen is burned in presence of oxygen, then it will give you water, which is in the liquid state. So this is all about the characteristics of the chemical reaction. I think you understood the chapter well. Once you go through the chapter from your book, I'll give you the PDF from the book so that you can go through the chapter. And then next class we will discuss about the question answers. Okay, thank you.